So we are going to walk through the thinking processes for inferring audience. Walking through this process will take a lot longer than when you do it on an exam or a test. When you're inferring audience or when you're answering any problem, the first thing that you want to do is read all of the directions and the passage first. So think about who would be able to relate to the analogy below. For what audience is the author most likely writing? You can't get a driver's license just by passing an online test. You have to log hours of actual driving time to develop the real-time, real-life skills to drive. The same in real-life practice is required for the social and emotional skills you need to navigate life. Direct communication is one of the most important. So what are the parts of this problem? There's a question, there's a setup, and there's a passage. So the question is, what am I answering? The setup. What additional information am I using to answer the question? And the passage. What text am I using to answer this question? Sometimes in the problem, they'll give it to you right there in a little box. Sometimes they'll say in paragraph 9, blah, blah, blah. So in that case, if they refer to paragraph 9, you should go back to paragraph 9 and reread it. So for this specific problem that we just read, what is the question? Well, we know the thing with the question mark is most likely it. So for what audience is the author most likely writing? So what am I looking for? I'm looking for the author's audience. Now, what words cue me to the setup or the additional information that will help me answer the question? So you're looking for the additional information. Sometimes you can even find part of the answer in that additional information. So the words that cue you are think about. So if someone tells you think about something, they want you to frame it within that area. So in this case, it's think about who would be able to relate to the analogy below. So I know my question is who is the audience? And then I have a setup or additional information that says who would be able to relate to the analogy. Should I ever ignore this setup? Never. Now I have to remember one of my vocabulary words, analogy. I remember this word. It means comparing two things, right? So now I'm breaking this down. My question is, who is the audience? And I'm thinking about who would be able to relate to the analogy. I wonder why they would set it up that way. What are they trying to tell me to think about? Are they saying that the analogy will help me infer the audience? Well, what are the two things? What is the analogy? What are the two things being compared in the text that might be able to help me? So you can't get a driver's license just by passing an online test. You have to log hours of actual driving time to develop the real-time, real-life skills to drive. So I guess they're saying I have to practice driving in order to get my license. The same in real-life practice is required for the social and emotional skills you need to navigate life. Direct communication is one of the most important. So I guess they're saying I need real-life practice to get social and emotional skills. And it was a nice trust, like a little touch there, navigating life, driver's license, get it? Haha, nice touch. So the two things I'm comparing is driver's license and social and emotional skills. Now I'm thinking, who can relate best to getting a driver's license? So the setup told me to think about the analogy, and I did. So I'm thinking about the driver's license and social and emotional skills. And that should help me infer who the audience is. So who can relate best to getting their driver's license? Teenagers, you have just solved the problem.